The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor of the reception hall, drawing every eye in the room. Rocco stood frozen, his face pale as his ex-girlfriend Sarah's voice echoed through the stunned silence. "How dare you bring your little boyfriend here, Rocco? This is Emily's day, not a parade for your perverted choices." But as murmurs rippled through the crowd of family and friends, the man beside Rocco, tall, poised, and radiating quiet strength, stepped forward, his hands still intertwined with Rocco's, ready to turn the tide in ways no one could have predicted. Rocco had always known his sister's wedding would be a minefield. Growing up in a conservative suburb of Chicago, where church picnics and neighborhood barbecues revolved around traditional values, he'd spent years hiding who he was. His parents, Robert and Linda, were the epitome of Midwestern propriety. His dad a retired accountant who quoted Bible verses at dinner, his mom a schoolteacher who organized community fundraisers. Emily, his older sister by 3 years, had been his confidant, the one who encouraged him to live authentically after he came out to her in college. But the rest of the family? They tolerated it with tight smiles and awkward silences, as if his sexuality was a phase best ignored. When Emily announced her engagement to Mark, a kind-hearted engineer from their hometown, Rocco was thrilled for her. The wedding was set in a picturesque venue outside the city, with white tents overlooking Lake Michigan and a guest list that included extended relatives who'd whisper about the gay one behind his back. Rocco debated attending alone, but then there was Jake. They'd met 6 months earlier at a charity event in downtown Chicago. Jake, a successful architect who designed eco-friendly community centers, and Rocco, a graphic designer passionate about social justice campaigns. Their connection was immediate, built on shared laughs over bad coffee and deep conversations about life's injustices. Jake was out and proud, from a supportive family in New York, and he insisted on coming as Rocco's date. "I'm not letting you face this alone," he'd said, kissing Rocco's forehead. "We're in this together." As the wedding weekend approached, Rocco's anxiety built like a storm cloud. He hadn't seen Sarah in 2 years, not since their breakup when he finally admitted he was gay. They'd dated through high school and into college, a picture-perfect couple on the surface, but Rocco had been miserable, forcing himself into a role that didn't fit. Sarah had taken it hard, accusing him of lying and wasting her time. Rumors swirled that she'd badmouthed him to mutual friends, calling his coming out a cop-out. Now, she was invited as a +1 to one of Emily's bridesmaids, and Rocco dreaded the confrontation. "What if she makes a scene?" he confided in Jake one night, pacing their apartment. Jake pulled him close. "Then we'll handle it. But remember, this is about celebrating love, ours included." The rehearsal dinner the night before was tense but civil. Rocco introduced Jake to his parents, who shook hands politely but avoided eye contact. "Nice to meet you," his dad muttered, quickly changing the subject to the Cubs' latest game. Emily pulled Rocco aside, hugging him tightly. "I'm so glad you're here with him. He seems great." Mark, ever the peacemaker, chatted with Jake about architecture, easing some of the awkwardness. Sarah arrived late, her eyes narrowing when she spotted them. She approached with a forced smile. "Rocco, long time no see. And this is?" Jake extended his hand. "Jake Harlan, Rocco's partner." Sarah's grip was limp, her gaze flicking between them. "Partner? Oh, progressive." The word dripped with sarcasm, but she said nothing more, retreating to her table. The next morning, as guests gathered for the ceremony, Rocco felt a flicker of hope. The sun shone brightly on the lakeside lawn, flowers blooming in vibrant hues. Emily looked radiant in her gown, and the vows exchanged with Mark were heartfelt, drawing tears from many. Rocco sat with Jake, their fingers laced under the program, stealing glances that grounded him. But during the photos afterward, Sarah cornered him while Jake was grabbing drinks. "You think you can just show up like this? Flaunting it in front of everyone? Your poor parents, they're embarrassed." Rocco's stomach twisted. "Sarah, this isn't about you. Please, just let it go." She smirked. "Oh, I will. But don't say I didn't warn you." The reception kicked off with toasts and dancing, the band playing upbeat tunes. Rocco and Jake joined the crowd on the floor, swaying to a slow song, lost in their own world. Whispers followed them, some curious, others judgmental, but Rocco pushed them aside. Then came the moment that shattered the fragile peace. As the best man finished his speech, Sarah grabbed the microphone uninvited, her voice slurring slightly from too much wine. "I'd like to say something about family," she began, eyes locked on Rocco. "Rocco here used to be my family, until he decided to switch teams. And now he's brought his boyfriend to ruin Emily's perfect day. Isn't that just selfish?" Gasps echoed. Rocco's face burned, his hands trembling. His parents looked mortified, aunts and uncles shifting uncomfortably. Emily's eyes widened in horror. But Jake didn't hesitate. He stood, gently taking the mic from Sarah's hand as security approached. "If I may," he said calmly, his voice steady and commanding. Jake's words hung in the air like a lifeline, pulling the room back from the brink of chaos. "Sarah, I don't know you well, but I know pain when I see it. And what you're doing isn't about protecting family. It's about lashing out." He turned to the crowd, his posture exuding confidence honed from years of public speaking at architecture conferences. "Rocco isn't here to ruin anything. He's here to celebrate his sister's love, just like the rest of us. And if loving who he loves makes anyone uncomfortable, that's on them, not him." The silence that followed was thick, broken only by a few murmurs of agreement. Emily rushed forward, hugging Rocco tightly as Mark escorted Sarah away, her protests fading. Rocco's heart pounded, a mix of humiliation and gratitude washing over him. Jake's intervention wasn't just defensive. It was a declaration, one that shifted the room's energy. People began clapping tentatively, then more enthusiastically, as if relieved someone had addressed the elephant in the room. As the evening progressed, the incident lingered like a shadow, but Jake's poise turned heads. Relatives who'd avoided Rocco all day now approached, curious about the man who'd handled the outburst with such grace. "You're an architect?" Uncle Tom asked, impressed. "Designed that new community center downtown? That's fantastic work." Jake nodded modestly, steering conversations toward common ground, sustainability, family values, while subtly weaving in stories of his own journey. "I came out in high school," he shared with a group of cousins. "It wasn't easy, but it taught me that real strength comes from authenticity." Rocco watched in awe, feeling a swell of pride. Jake wasn't just his partner. He was a force, someone who'd overcome his own challenges. Raised in a bustling New York family, Jake had faced rejection from extended relatives but built a life of purpose. His firm specialized in inclusive spaces, playgrounds for kids with disabilities, shelters for LGBTQ youth. It was one of the things that drew Rocco to him. Jake's quiet activism, turning personal pain into communal good. But not everyone was swayed. Rocco's dad pulled him aside during a break. "Son, that was unnecessary. Sarah's out of line, but why bring attention to it?" His voice was gruff, laced with discomfort. Rocco sighed. "Dad, I didn't bring it. She did. And Jake was just standing up for me. For us." Robert rubbed his neck. "I get it, but this family's traditional. People talk." Linda joined them, her eyes soft but worried. "We love you, Rocco. We do. But maybe next time, come alone? To avoid drama." The words stung, a reminder that acceptance was conditional. Emily, overhearing, intervened. "Mom, Dad, stop. Rocco deserves to be here with who he loves. Sarah's the one who caused the scene, not him." Mark nodded in support. "Exactly. Let's focus on the positive." The conversation ended awkwardly, but it planted seeds of doubt in Rocco's mind. Was bringing Jake a mistake? Had he selfishly overshadowed his sister's day? Later, as they danced again, Jake sensed Rocco's turmoil. "Hey, you okay?" Rocco leaned into him. "Yeah, just family stuff. Thank you for what you did." Jake smiled. "Anytime, but let's not let her win. This is our night too." They swayed under the string lights, the lake breeze carrying away some of the tension. Yet, whispers persisted, some guests defending Sarah, calling Jake's response overdramatic, others praising it as brave. The next day, brunch at the family home brought more undercurrents. Sarah had left early, but her actions rippled. A cousin, Lisa, confided in Rocco. "I can't believe she said that, but honestly, some folks here agree with her. They think it's unnatural." Rocco's chest tightened. "And you?" Lisa shrugged. "I don't know. Live and let live, I guess." It highlighted the societal divide. Progress in cities like Chicago clashing with rural conservatism. Jake, ever the optimist, suggested a walk by the lake. "We can't change everyone overnight," he said. "But showing up authentically, that's how minds shift." Rocco nodded, drawing strength from him. Yet, doubts crept in. What if this strained his family ties forever? Emily reassured him later. "You didn't ruin anything. If anything, it made the day memorable for the right reasons." As the weekend wound down, Rocco reflected on his choices. Coming out had been liberating, but events like this tested his resolve. Jake's presence was a bomb, but the conflicts, familial expectations, ex's bitterness, societal judgments, wore on him. Little did he know, the real test was yet to come, as old secrets threatened to surface. Back in Chicago, the wedding's aftermath lingered like a persistent fog. Rocco returned to work, designing campaigns for a nonprofit advocating LGBTQ rights, but his mind replayed Sarah's words. Emails from relatives trickled in, some supportive, others laced with passive aggression. "Hope you're doing well," one aunt wrote, "but maybe think about how your lifestyle affects others." It fueled his insecurity, making him question if he'd imposed his truth too forcefully. Jake noticed the shift. Over dinner one evening, he set down his fork. "Talk to me, Rocco. You've been distant." Rocco sighed. "It's just, did I make Emily's wedding about me? Sarah's right in a way. I brought you knowing it might stir things." Jake reached across the table. "No. You brought me because I'm part of your life. Hiding would have been worse." Their conversation deepened, revealing layers of emotion. Jake shared his own past rejection. "My uncle disowned me after I came out. It hurt, but I realized his hate was his burden, not mine." Inspired, Rocco decided to reach out to his parents. A video call ensued, tense at first. "We didn't expect that scene," his mom said. "But Jake seems nice." His dad grunted. "Yeah, handled it well. It was progress, albeit small." Emily called afterward. "They're coming around. Give it time." But societal pressures mounted. At a work event, Rocco overheard colleagues discussing similar family dramas, highlighting how gay individuals often navigated minefields of acceptance. Then came the twist. Sarah contacted Rocco via text. "We need to talk. Meet me at the coffee shop downtown." Curiosity won over caution. Jake advised against it, but Rocco went, seeking closure. Sarah sat rigidly, stirring her latte. "I was drunk, okay? But you humiliated me by leaving for this." Rocco frowned. "Sarah, I didn't leave for anyone. I was always gay. I just didn't admit it." She leaned in. "Whatever. But your little show at the wedding? People are talking. Your family's embarrassed." Her words aimed to wound, but Rocco saw her pain. Unresolved hurt from their breakup. "I wish you happiness," he said finally. "But don't drag me down." Leaving, he felt empowered, but the encounter stirred old guilt. Had he led her on? Society's expectations of heteronormativity had pressured him into that relationship, a common trap for many in the closet. Meanwhile, Jake faced his own challenges. A major project at work, a community center for at-risk youth, involved partnering with conservative donors. Whispers about his lifestyle reached him, threatening funding. "It's discrimination," he told Rocco. "But I won't back down." Their bond strengthened through these trials. Late nights discussing resilience and love amid adversity. A family gathering loomed, Thanksgiving at his parents' house. Rocco debated bringing Jake again. It might be too soon, he worried. Emily encouraged. "Bring him. Show them normalcy." They arrived to mixed reactions. Some relatives avoided them, Others engaged politely. During dinner, talk turned to politics, gay marriage rights, a hot-button issue. Uncle Tom quipped, "It's all changing too fast. Traditional families are under attack." Jake responded thoughtfully, "Tradition evolves. Love is love. Doesn't threaten anyone." The comment sparked debate. Rocco's dad nodded reluctantly. "Maybe, but it's hard for us old folks." The evening ended without explosion, but tensions simmered. Later, a cousin pulled Rocco aside. "Jake's cool, but Sarah's spreading rumors. Says you cheated on her with guys." Rocco's anger flared. "Lies. She's bitter." It revealed the underbelly of small-town gossip, where personal lives became ammunition. As winter set in, Rocco and Jake's relationship deepened. They volunteered together at a shelter, bonding over shared purpose. Yet, doubts persisted. Rocco wondered if constant battles were worth it. "Sometimes I envy straight couples, no drama," he admitted. Jake hugged him. "But our love is real, fought for. That's powerful." The turning point approached with Emily's announcement. She was pregnant. Joy mixed with anxiety. How would the family dynamic shift? Sarah, still in the circle, hinted at more trouble via a mutual friend. "She's not done." Rocco braced for impact, unaware that the next confrontation would force impossible choices. The holidays amplified the brewing storm. Christmas at the family home brought everyone together, including Sarah as a guest of the bridesmaid. Rocco and Jake arrived warily, gifts in hand. Initial greetings were cordial, but undercurrents swirled. During gift exchange, Sarah handed Rocco a wrapped book. "Thought you might need this. Finding Your True Self." It was a self-help tome on overcoming confusion, laced with homophobic undertones. Laughter from some relatives masked the insult. Rocco's face reddened. "Thanks, but I'm good." Jake squeezed his hand, whispering, "Ignore it." But the jab ignited whispers. His mom intervened. "Sarah, that's not appropriate." Yet the damage was done, highlighting societal biases where such gifts passed as humor. Dinner escalated. Talk of Emily's baby led to family values. "Raising kids right these days is tough," an aunt said. "With all this gender stuff." Sarah chimed in, "Exactly. Rocco, how do you plan to have kids? Adoption? Surrogacy? It's not natural." The table fell silent. Rocco's fork clattered. "Sarah, enough. My life isn't up for debate." His dad cleared his throat. "Let's change the subject." But Jake couldn't stay silent. "Actually, let's not. Natural is a loaded word. Love and family come in many forms. Denying that hurts everyone." Uncle Tom retorted, "But biology matters. Two dads? Kids need a mom." The argument heated, voices rising. Emily defended, "Stop. My brother's happiness matters." Mark added, "We've got science on diverse families, they thrive." Rocco felt torn, appreciating the support but hating the division. "Why can't we just accept each other?" he pleaded. Sarah smirked. "Because some choices are wrong." The word wrong echoed Rocco's internalized shame from years in the closet. He excused himself, stepping outside into the snow. Jake followed. "You okay?" Rocco shivered. "No. This is exhausting. Maybe we shouldn't have come." Jake held him. "We did because hiding isn't living. But if it's too much, we leave." Their moment was interrupted by Emily. "I'm sorry. Sarah's leaving, Mark's making sure." Relief washed over Rocco, but resentment lingered. Post-holidays, repercussions unfolded. Sarah's social media posts subtly shaded Rocco, gaining traction in their conservative circle. "When exes ruin family events' traditional values," one read. Friends messaged Rocco in support, but it amplified the societal clash, online echo chambers fueling division. Jake's work suffered too. A donor pulled out, citing personal differences. "It's because of me," Rocco lamented. Jake shook his head. "No, it's bigotry. We'll find better partners." Their resilience shone, but cracks appeared. Rocco questioned their future. "What if this never ends? Constant fighting? A breakthrough came via a family therapy session Emily suggested. Rocco's parents attended reluctantly. The therapist unpacked biases. Acceptance starts with understanding. His dad admitted, "I worry about you facing hate." His mom teared up, "We love you, but it's new for us." It was raw, emotional progress amid pain. Yet Sarah escalated. She emailed Rocco, "I have proof you were seeing guys while we dated. Drop the victim act or I'll share." Panic surged. Rocco hadn't cheated, but closeted explorations blurred lines. "She's bluffing," Jake said, but the threat forced a choice. Confront or retreat. Rocco chose confrontation. Meeting Sarah with a mediator friend, he laid bare, "I was scared, confused, but that doesn't justify your hate." Sarah broke down. "You broke my heart." Vulnerability emerged. Her actions stemmed from hurt, societal pressures to fix him. No resolution, but understanding dawned. As spring bloomed, healing began. Rocco's family invited them for Easter, sans Sarah. Conversations flowed easier, Jake's charm winning skeptics. Emily's baby shower celebrated new life, symbolizing hope. But the journey wasn't linear. Setbacks, like a relative's snide comment, reminded Rocco of ongoing struggles. Through it all, his bond with Jake deepened, a testament to love's endurance. With summer approaching, Rocco and Jake planned a getaway to New York, visiting Jake's family. The contrast was stark, warm welcomes, no judgments. Jake's parents embraced Rocco. "Your family now." It highlighted what acceptance looked like, fueling Rocco's resolve to foster it back home. Back in Chicago, a community event tested them. Jake's firm hosted a Pride fundraiser, inviting Rocco's family. Emily and Mark attended, his parents hesitantly. Seeing LGBTQ families thrive shifted perspectives. His dad confided, "Didn't realize it was like this normal happy." Small victories accumulated. Sarah faded from their lives, rumors dying down. Rocco reflected on the wedding incident as a catalyst, forcing confrontations that led to growth. Yet, societal issues persisted. News of anti-gay legislation reminded him progress was fragile. Their relationship evolved, discussions of marriage arising. "One day," Jake said, "at our own pace." Rocco smiled, envisioning a future unburdened. Years later, at Emily's child's birthday, the family gathered harmoniously. Rocco and Jake, now engaged, were celebrated. The journey from shame to triumph underscored choice's power. Looking back, Rocco pondered. Was standing firm worth the pain, or should he have hidden for peace? It sparked debate among friends. Authenticity versus harmony. In the end, love prevailed, but the question lingered. Is forcing societal change through personal visibility always the right path, or does it sometimes cause unnecessary division?